What's going on, guys? Pegasus and the Wise Guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Come in, close the door, have a seat. Good to see you. Welcome back to the page, guys. I've been wanting to do this profile for a second. I think it's been about 5-6 weeks since I did some kind of Drytron content. And this list, it's been mixed in and out of locals around our testing circles, which is all over the world. And we have a pretty big testing circle, and it was really, really cool. It's been doing well. The list that we've all kind of been combining on has been doing well in like online tournaments. I took it to a couple locals. Ended up playing Flu in the OTS and ended up playing myself, which I'll get into when I get to my Flu profile. Played myself though, and then lost to a really amazing female duelist, and she just cooked me. So without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into the profile and let's talk about it. I still like Vanity's ruler with the new Drytron stuff that just got revealed, and we'll definitely have videos coming on that soon. I think the main deck monster is underwhelming, but it's interesting. And then obviously, I definitely wanted to mention, my bad, I just tapped my stand. And then obviously, I wanted to mention the big ritual, the new one, really floats and it's really interesting. And then obviously the trap is its own thing, which is it's a searchable ritual art. I told you another Drytron trap was coming. Without further ado, we're getting into this build right now. I still feel like Vanity's ruler going forwards after this will be the way to play. So I'm still playing Vanity's ruler for myself. And it kind of, I'm playing another win condition as well that I just go for. And if I don't get there, if I get hand trapped and I draw another card, then I just pivot over to that. Diviner of the Herald, obviously, and then the orange light for the fairies that are the main deck monsters. That's pretty much all I'm playing. No, you don't play 3 because you'll get cooked. This can be Choju, but for me, people literally, this was Choju, and people were like, why in the world did you stop playing Vanity's ruler? I went back to Vanity's ruler, started smacking the same people again. So literally, it may not work for you, it worked for me. I just have to go with what worked for me. Variety go, folks. All right, moving on. Definitely have to talk about Drytron Alpha Thubin. Obviously, with searching your ritual monsters that you already know how to do and you probably talk your head off, there's nothing to really talk about. Search ritual monsters. Definitely had to talk about Ursatron Alpha though, because it allows you to not get cooked so hard off of Alpha Zeta, but it also plays more into Droll too. And it doesn't play into the win condition that I'm necessarily playing, but I still wanted to have another name, and I was tired of drawing 3 Gamma, and I just tried it, and it's been working. But this can probably not be played, but I do like being able to search Drytron Nova. So, you know, it is what it is with that. You don't have to play this. This is just what I'm playing. As far as the rest of the names, Triple Zeta, though, can't say enough about it. I'm only playing one of the ritual spell, but I definitely still like this. And then in the non-perfection builds, I get it. You know, sometimes it's irritating to draw this after you already draw the ritual spell, which will happen to you, but it is what it is with that. Triple Delta, because I like to draw cards. And double Gamma, this was 3, and I was really tired of drawing Gamma with Gamma, and it kept happening and happening and happening, and it wouldn't stop. So that's where I did with that. But obviously, you don't have to play this at 2. You can play it at 3, and maybe try the one that plays around Dimensional Shifter Beta. Draconids for the Big Daddy ritual. I think the new one's going to be really, really interesting, and I'm probably going to end up having some kind of builds where I'm going to have the other one as well, because the other one really blows out Labyrinth in certain decks like that. But Draconids, Big Daddy Draconids is just really, really powerful. The second win condition behind Vanity's ruler is Chaos Max. You don't have to play this. Again, there's a little bit of a pivot that you can do where you play specific cards that you may not want to delve into more effective pain. I just like this one, and I like showing off this one. It's like the OCG when it's like OT or something like that. But I have like 500 different English ones. But I pivot between these two all the time. So I'm not playing Idaten right now. But if I was, I'd be playing Cross Sheep, and I'd like maneuver some stuff around. If I was playing this, then the IP would be the choice in my extra deck every time, because protecting IP with this is really, really key. But for right now, I'm going for Chaos Max, because getting the Chaos Max and skipping their turn is just what you go for. And if they don't hand trap you, then it's just gonna go off. And, you know, obviously if you're expecting stuff like Call by the Grave and stuff like that, then you have Delancia in your side deck, which I am playing. But definitely, I'm probably going forwards. This will probably shift back to Ida 10, because I did want this to be the Ida 10 with the orange light that I drew several times. And like, there was a game in a locals that I really would have won had this been Ida 10 instead in the orange light stuff. And then I would just go for my inboard, otherwise being this Fucho ruler pass, which y'all know what it is before we continue on. Fucho ruler pass is still really, really stupid, really, really ignorant. But I don't necessarily go for that. I try to go for this first and then get into that. But if you get stopped, and this is your first option as well. It's really subjective, and the way that the game is right now, however you can pull off your strategy, if it works right now. You just gotta live with it and deal with it and do what you can with the game right now, because it's in a crazy spot with that snake eye stuff. Obviously, with the rest of the fairies, you got triple Ben 10. Shout out to Devin for hitting your boy up with the QCRs. So clean, they glow. I don't think the sunlight's, I hope you're catching the angle of them. They're really, really clean. I love the Lost Arts, but I think I like these even more. They're really, really clean. Look good in yellow sleeves too. Ben 10 is still Ben 10. Still the primary way to play it. The new support is why it was felt underwhelming to a lot of people, because why in the world would you shift away from Ben 10? You don't. Cyber Angel Natasha, because why would you not play Cyber Angel Natasha and take your opponent's entire board? And obviously with stuff like I'm playing in this deck, which you'll see in the spell count, stuff like that. Being able to Natasha people after you've Dark Rulered them or Forbidden Dropleted them, it's just really, really ignorant. And it's still a time card. And it's still just how you game them most of the time anyway. And still probably the primary strategy going second. Besides Zeusing them, because it's the best Zeus deck. I play triple nib. Now, I usually wouldn't play nib without having another hand trap, but I'm playing Forbidden Droplet and Dark Ruler, so that like those are my hand traps, and you don't want to exchange hand traps in a Drytron deck, because you're going to lose that battle. Because most of these decks, they don't have to lean in the hand traps, and they can get going off of one card, and it doesn't matter what card with what card, whereas Drytron, usually, until the new support and a few other stuff, or Beatrice might get hit or something like that, the one name hands just aren't it anymore. So it's like you don't want to get heavy into the hand traps. But if you do, being able to nib people and then Natasha steal the token and beat them over the head with it is absolutely hilarious. And you can do what you can with that. And obviously if you draw like talents playing into their board too, you can take the token and beat them over the head with it as well. So it's like nib is just really, really good right now. It's not enough by itself, but it's still getting the job done for me because I'm playing other cards that get there. As far as getting there, obviously you have Fafnir and Nova. I go back and forth between playing 2 and 2 or 1 and 3. It's 2 and 2 is correct, like mathematically, but like I want to see Nova, and I like thrusting into Nova, and I like having more Novas in my deck so that if it comes back to me, I just game them. And you get drolled and weird stuff like that before you even get going. That's just really, really irritating, but you can also just end on Fucho. So it's like it's a trade-off. Depends on what you're trying to go for. Forbidden Droplet, obviously you got Forbidden Droplet. Being able to I kind of use it as my other hand trap, and it just works so well in Drytron. And just being able to just chain to something that you probably can't deal with. A lot of people are playing Dweller right now, and I've been Dwellering I've been Forbidden Droplet over a lot of Dwellers, like a lot. Like it happens a lot because they're like, oh, he's playing Dweller. Cool, chain. And you hope you draw this over the Dark Ruler. The double Cyber Emergency, I'm not playing 3. I was really tired of drawing these together. And even if like they like negate one or say you can just put it back in your hand, but I just don't like drawing 2 of these. So I'm just playing 2 for right now. 2 talents and to keep the deck count down. And thrust. I play the thrust for when they hand trap me and I have 2 names. I just thrust into this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because I go into Fucho, if they hand trap anything that I do in dry and I went first, game. Literally, and it's game every time, because if you hand Drytron an extra turn, they're gonna kill you. Foolish Burial, Prep, Dark, Instant. And then the other 2 cards, Called by the Grave and the Ritual spell. Shout out to the rarity. I love this deck, so I had to max out that. Instant Fusion, I really like right now, just because everybody's playing hand traps. It's the counter that I've been looking for. The Dark Ruler, just to be able to push through certain boards, and catching people with Dark Ruler, people kind of still don't see it coming. I don't know why. Dark Ruler is nuts to me. Preparation, obviously, if you can grab a Natasha and the Ritual Spell back, or just be able to start off your plays and hopefully don't get drolled. It's still one, and it's worthy, and you can just thrust for it. And then Foolish Burial. Called by the Grave is called by the grave, and obviously you're not playing any hand trap. I'm not playing any hand trap that would hurt me to lose out on. As far as getting into the rest of the deck, you got the extra deck. Obviously you got Fucho. As I said before, skipping folks' turn is real. Very real out here. Moving on, you got the Diviner Targets. My bad, the Diviner Targets. If you ever get tired of Diviner, you know, there's 2 free slots right there, but like Diviner is so good right now. Still got your spot removal. Obviously restrict for the Instant Fusion, the Anima. Dynamondo, definitely in certain builds, you probably want to play 2, because if you get drolled a lot, you want to keep Dynamondoing them and keep grabbing back the Magician of Black Chaos that I showed before. If it just depends. I feel like you shouldn't get pulled into them long kind of games, because you're going to lose those the majority of the time. But that's probably the one fix that I would make, is play double Dynamondo, because if you keep getting drolled, I feel like you can just go like Fucho one time and this one time. But, you know, it is what it is. It's something you got to mess around with. I've also been messing around with Ensemble. I go back and forth. This is between Mirage, IP, and it's something else. It was something else I was trying. I think this might be the spot for this as well. When this is a Morph Factor, this card is insane. When it's the ruler build, most of the time I feel like this should be Mirage, but sometimes you'll get like impermed on the ruler and then you'll make something anyway. So it's like, it is what it is with that. And if you make like an Appaloosa after that, that's just annoying for them. Underworld, Bow Goddess, Boral Sword. There's one of these slots. I loan out a lot of my cards like that, and then I haven't had Little Knight in a minute, and honestly, it sounds crazy. I haven't missed Little Knight, as crazy as that sounds, because like my boards, they're really hard to deal with anyway. So, you know, it kind of is what it is with that. You can get home without a Little Knight, which sounds crazy, but literally it's possible. And then being able to just play around specific stuff in people's extra deck that I just won't be able to deal with. Like Avermax gets dropped all the time in my locals. Can't play around with folks. Fafnir, I'm playing 2. You don't need 3, because you won't last in a long game against a better deck like Snake Eyes. Zeus, Downard, Beatrice, she's gonna get banned. That fiend stuff that y'all saw, let's just move on. Obviously, with the side, kind of different from how I usually play it, but I really like Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon right now. It's really good right now. It burns for damage. It's a time card, and it bounces some of those back row decks where they can't respond. It bounces everything, which really screws them. And you can Dynamondo out this, and it's anytime this is special summon, you get to return it. So like if Dynamon sticks to the board and they're playing like a back row deck where they try to set up Dynamon, in fact, bounce everything, and you catch them in a phase where they can't reset it, the game is over with. And even if you don't, sometimes it's a back row deck where they need to start activating stuff to get going. They're paying 500 per. So it's like Chain Energy on legs. Crazy card, insane card, highly recommended. Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, and 3 of the Cyclones. Self-explanatory. I didn't want to play evenly. I'm not playing evenly because this is the best Zeus deck, and I just wanted to get there with a lot of these cards. And because you wanted to get there, a lot of times I use this as another hand trap as well, because if I nib them and then they're like, oh, they'll still put a monster on the board. Okay, cool. Lava Golem. Tasha, take it back, kill him. Literally. Like, it happens a lot. And just nobody's playing like you're not going to get... Maybe Summon Limit is like the counter to this. I think that's about the only counter that you have to worry about, because you'll be like 1 and you'll be like, normal. And if that normal isn't like Diviner, then you won't be Diviner because you can't normal. But like there's just, you won't get there. So like this card loses the Summon Limit. Summon Limit's a really powerful card. I'm not playing it in this build right now, but it's really powerful. Double Ash and Lancia. And then rounding out everything, I just feel like you still got to have them, and it's searchable. Angel 07, hilarious card right now. And then Battle Buster, I really like these going forwards. I still feel like these are going to be extremely relevant, especially with the new support that just got announced. I feel like these aren't going anywhere, and they don't lose out to anything. It's still a machine ritual, and it's probably part of your end board that you want to end on, because having a counter trap behind everything is just really, really good. And Angel 07 I play because I'm a flute player, and I respect any of these decks that where you have the Vanities ruler in this spot. If they can handle the Vanities ruler, you know, they're playing a deck that doesn't lose the Vanities ruler, then you just Angel 07 them and then laugh. Now, you will lose out on the Ben 10 search if you tribute over a Ben 10, but if it sticks, game over. And it's pretty much the replacement for him in certain matchups. Love the card. It's just one of my favorite cards all time in the game, and I try to play it whenever I can, and it gets home right now. So it's like, why would I not play one of my favorite cards? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Pegasus out. Arrivederci.